Hi, I'm Kim Jacobs, and I'm the Communications Director of Olive Tree Works. And we are so excited today to have you here with us in our living rooms. And we are here to talk about something new, something exciting in the field of education. Now, I'm going to be introducing to you in just a minute our friend Nina. And until we do, I've got a couple questions I want to ask you. As a parent, have you ever found yourself frustrated or annoyed by the disconnect between traditional education and the growing need for relevant education in the fields of technology and multimedia innovation? I mean, it's all about multimedia and technology these days, isn't it? We've sure learned that through COVID. Also, have you ever found yourself as a parent in a serious conflict between your beliefs and what your child is learning at school? Well, today we're going to talk about this, and we're going to talk about a brand new educational opportunity that will be a road to success for your child. And to do that, we have with us Dr. Nina Bissett. And she is a public speaker, educator, and author. She holds a BA in education from Lipscomb University in Nashville. That's Tennessee, by the way. All right. She has an MA in Christian School Administration from Grace College in Indiana, and an EDD in Higher Education Administration and Teaching from Regent University, Virginia. So for over 30 years, Nina has both served as a teacher and in a teaching capacity and administrative capacity at the Covenant Christian School, which is located in Aurora, Illinois. So with that, all right, she is also very experienced as a program director and a therapist through the National Institute for Learning Development. Well, I want to welcome you, Nina, Dr. Bissett. It is such an honor to have you today. I am so excited about this topic. When I read what you're doing, it blew me away.
Thank you. It's so great being with you, and with all the audience out there as well. So thank you for letting me be a part of your videotaping today.
So, Dr. Bissett, I am going to start with a couple of questions. I understand that the formation of a Christian high school has been a vision of Covenant Christian for many, many years. So right now, Covenant Christian is K through 8. Am I right in
Well, preschool, right? Preschool through 8.
Okay, preschool through 8. All right. So you've had this vision for quite some time, and we know that realities don't just appear out of thin air. They are forged with vision and hard work. So let me ask you, why? Why, knowing that there are 10 public and 4 private high schools in Aurora and the surrounding areas, do you think another high school would benefit the Aurora and surrounding areas? And what would make it different from any other high school?
Well, that's a great question. It really all began several years ago when I was communicating with one of my relatives in California who happened to be a high school teacher for the San Francisco Public School District. I asked him what his views would be for the kind of high school that would be needed in order to reach out and effectively educate our students. And he immediately said, a school of technology, arts, and media communication. He felt that that would be the wave of the future and exactly what young people would need. Well, it wasn't long after that I attended a seminar. And in this seminar, we were encouraged to take the heavenly patterns of God and introduce those to our students to educate them in an entirely different, innovative way. Today, students are being bombarded with images that are not from heaven. They're from the earth. They're earthly patterns instead of heavenly patterns. And we would like to see them using God's patterns to have a productive and successful life. Not only are the tabernacle and the temple used as examples or patterns of heaven, but also from the very beginning in creation, God made man in his image. And in his image, he made them male and female. So he gave a pattern from the beginning of what man should look like. And even later, what we would call the pattern for the heavenly man, who happened to be Jesus. And Jesus came and brought the instructions. He laid the moral compass for our students to know exactly what heaven was asking for their lives. With these biblical patterns, students can develop and introduce images of God's character and his patterns of truth into all areas of influence, the government, the educational system, into the family, the home, technology, the arts, and on and on. So as students receive the patterns of heaven in these areas of influence, they in turn can be used to impact their culture as well.
Well, that is so exciting, combining that the spiritual aspect with the academic aspect. And I got a story for you. Yes. Because, I went back to school when I was 50 years old. Okay, I know I'm dating myself. But I wanted, my whole life, I wanted a degree in Jewish studies. So I went back and because I had gone to about 2 years of college, but I dropped out. Okay, got a job, right out of college. I got a job and I was starting a road of success. So I thought, I don't need college, right? Well, when I went back to get my degree, right, I had to go through the whole thing from the beginning. And so I started out at Broward College. I started out just getting my TAA. Now, here's the thing that I wanted to mention. That when I was starting to go to all these different classes and gain the education in the field of history and Jewish studies that I was looking for, I thought one day I want to be able to take the knowledge that I have gained and use it with technology. So I got a separate degree in multimedia authoring, just so I could combine these two areas of interest. And I think it just dovetails into what you're saying. I realized this is what's going to be valuable a few years down the road. And so today, here we are, and our young people are gaining traditional knowledge, but how are they going to use it? And this is what we're talking about right now, making that connection between what they learn and the career that they can have in utilizing the knowledge that they're gaining. And that is in the media and technological world. That's what our world is today. So I agree with what you're saying. And it's just so beautiful. So with that, the understanding and what you slowly from your family member and this event that you were at where you had this insight into these heavenly patterns, how did you connect that to the high school itself?
Well, after the seminar, I began to realize even more the urgent need for a Christian high school that would help students rise above the postmodernism, the secularization of their culture, and that they would be equipped to be able to enter into this culture and make a difference. As a principal of Covenant Christian School, I began to see that they needed a new and innovative way. We needed it as educators for our students post 8th grade, for them to be prepared to have a future full of the technological, ideological, and artistic challenges, for them to meet those challenges. And I believe that Covenant Christian School will be able to provide that innovative and new high school program.
I love what you said about new and innovative. I think that is really the key, a new and innovative way to educate. And so you really saw this new and innovative high school. It already became a vision of yours. So what were the challenges of bringing this vision together?
Wow. The first challenge that we faced was the loss of church sponsorship, which we had had for over 30 years.
Wow.
However, the Covenant Christian School parents were fantastic. They came together and they said, this school is worth continuing. And because of their decision to help that come into existence, it opened the door for Covenant Christian School to become an independent school. And just a few years after that, we had the advantage of hearing the story of how God placed internationally acclaimed pianist and CCS board member Huntley Brown on a cruise with Dr. Gene Kroom, who's the president of Judson University. And the two of them brainstormed together, and they both found that they were concerned about the future of Christian education and what could they possibly do to help make it affordable for parents, to make it where their students could attend school, a Christian school, from preschool all the way through college. And from that moment on, a partnership began between Judson University and Covenant Christian School, a partnership that would bring in the vision of the high school for Covenant Christian School and move on the heart of those at Judson University to help fulfill this. So once again, that vision was delayed later after this when COVID hit and financial concerns that came with that as well. So those are two of the challenges that we have faced.
That is part of a vision. What you saw here was the loss and the gain.
Right.
And it's amazing. One of the things that we don't think about is so often, we think when we're losing something, it's a negative, but it's really opening the space for something positive to happen. And I see that the loss of the sponsorship ultimately ended up in the relationship and the collaboration, not only with the parents, but also with Judson University. How beautiful of a story is this? So after all these delays and setbacks, all right, you were given this opportunity to bring this vision together. All right. How did that work out? And what were the results?
Well, after all those hurdles, I was honored when the Covenant Christian School Board contacted me and asked if I would be a part of bringing together the high school and Judson University, that I would come up with a plan for that. And so that's exactly what I did. And with board approval later on, we began this partnership between Judson and Covenant Christian School. And this plan included several distinctive and important features that I would like to share with you. Our children need to be prepared for the global, the national, and the local challenges that they're going to face in the future. We knew that we needed to start identifying for these students what their talents and abilities would be in this world. And in order for them to be equipped to serve in their community, to be worldwide ambassadors on behalf of the kingdom of God, they would become world changers instead of youth changed by the world.
Oh, wow.
And we believe that this can be accomplished through the Academy's unique curriculum that came into existence that joins the principles of God with the what we call the 7 mountains of influence, the technology in conjunction with media, the government, business, entertainment, the arts, with education, with the church, and with the family. And the curriculum for these areas would be specifically designed to assist the students in discovering God's patterns and His principles that they will need to acquire, in which they'll need to acquire the skills in order to impact these 7 areas of influence. And at the Academy, we want to help students to develop the creative and special gifts that God has given them, just as Peter stated in 1 Peter 4:10. Isn't that an awesome challenge?
That is. That was just very interesting what you said. I'd like to just stay here for a second because you just mentioned 7 mountains of influence. Now, I've never looked at these categories like this before. But what you're actually saying, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but that you're going to connect these areas of influence, all right, with biblical training in these areas. So people, when they're, or students, I don't want to just say people, but we're talking about students right now. We're talking about careers, and we're talking about life careers. So when they're engaged in technology and multimedia authoring, they're going to be able to even pray, to have God help them to understand what is the right kind of messaging in the field that they're growing and learning in. In government, they're gonna be trained to learn how to have the right kind of ethics and moral compass when they're having to face political issues, which can be very, very volatile and very vile. In business, also business ethics. So you're going to be combining this kind of training to know how you're to conduct yourself in a business setting with the right kind of ethics and morals and character. So, and that would hold true, of course, as you said, these mountains of influence, arts and entertainment is huge, right? And
Right.
yeah. Okay. How are we going to put all of this into Jurassic Park?
Right.
Okay. All right. So we have in education and, of course, in the family setting. I mean, nothing, I think, is more valuable than having a child understand relationship with his parents and good harmony within the family. So, okay. So is this kind of how we're going to academically as well as ethically and spiritually bring this together in this new high school and also college relationship that we're talking about?
Yes, you've correctly summarized that. We know from God's word, for instance, the government shall be upon his shoulders. Whose shoulders? The shoulders of God Almighty. If the government is on his shoulders, who knows
Right.
more about how to run government than God Almighty? And for our students to tap into that biblical principle, that pattern of heaven, tap into heaven's government, they will be bringing a governmental system in which they could impact the world. They could be senators, maybe even a president, who will have God's government and God's ways of running the whole world behind them. And that's an awesome challenge for our students.
That's interesting because God even says about Israel, he said, listen, if you walk in my ways, if you keep my commandments, if you're a doer of those things that I put into your hands, these patterns we're talking about, he says, I will make you a wise and understanding nation. No nation will stand before you. I mean, he is the one who truly, as you just said, it can make immense difference in the way a nation is perceived in among the nations. It's beautiful. So I understand also that another distinctive of your high school academy is its unique partnership with Judson University. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, interestingly, the Academy's focus on technology and arts corresponds totally with Judson University's liberal arts approach. They use the arts specifically throughout their curriculum. They even have special programs such as the DeMoss Center for Worship in the Performing Arts. So they are always adding to their own program the things that we would be, the subject areas, the courses that we would be instructing our students in. So it will just connect the two together even more.
That's beautiful. I am seeing, and I'm sure you also have noticed it, there is, even in filming today, we're seeing such a revival of musicals. I mean, I am just shocked at how many of the series and these are young people. These are young people that are getting involved in music and in the arts, and their talents are being, sought after.
Yes.
So how much more is it when you have this incredible opportunity to do it for Hashem, for the Lord? All right. So now let's take a look at what education at TAA, which is Technology Arts Academy.
Technology Arts Academy. Technology and Arts Academy. That makes it easier.
Technology, CCS, Technology and Arts Academy. All right. So tell me, what would education at TAA look like for a student?
Well, first of all, God promises that He promises for our children that He has plans for them, plans of good, to give them peace, to give them a future. And we believe that enrollment at the Technology and Arts Academy will bring about possibilities for them that maybe they've never even thought of before, that their future is unlimited when it comes to their enrollment at the school. But first of all, in answer to your question, students will, perhaps for the first time, will start experiencing college life and college activities at Judson University even before they start college. How often does that happen for a student? It doesn't. They will be on campus interacting with college students. And then during their 11th and 12th grade years, they would be part of the Judson Prep program, in which they will have dual credit opportunities. They'll be taking classes that will apply towards potentially an associate's degree from Judson University by the time they finish the Technology and Arts Academy, which is amazing. And when they graduate from Covenant Christian School's Technology and Arts Academy, they can continue on to Judson, where they're guaranteed a scholarship because they were part of the Technology and Arts Academy. That doesn't happen very often. So that will help and assist them in making their degree more affordable in the long run. Then during their 9th and 10th grade years, students will be taking courses that are required by the state, as well as selections from the Technology and Arts Academy elective courses. Each semester, they will get to choose a different elective, beginning with the history and introduction to courses such as photography, computer science, art, music. They can pick an elective in those fields, basically to get them acquainted with that area, to see if this is really the direction God has for them. So they'll have the history and introduction to it. Then they will continue with more advanced courses at the Technology and Arts Academy, courses in drawing, in media, in journalism, in fundamentals of music. So by the time they finish their 9th and 10th grade years, they'll be ready for the prep program at Judson University. And the state required and elective courses that they will be taking will be taught with a mixture of teachers on site, teachers in their classroom. Some of the courses will be online through Christian online venues such as the 7-Star Academy. They will also have their courses supplemented by visiting professors, either from Judson or from those that we know in the area who are either visiting. We know that, as I've mentioned before, Huntley Brown is an internationally acclaimed pianist who has worked with the Billy Graham Association and now with Franklin Graham Association. He's going to be one of those visiting professors or instructors, and there will also be multiple field trip experiences. Cisco Cotto is an area reporter and radio host for WBBM in Chicago. He was actually a graduate of Covenant Christian School several years ago. So he's a friend as well. And I've spoken to him already, and he's excited about the potential of some of our students who are interested in the media coming into the studio itself and getting firsthand experience, which will be a great opportunity for our students. So students in the 11th and 12th grade who choose the dual credit track will receive instruction, as I said, from the Judson professors themselves. They'll be taught from a distinctive Christian perspective by these professors under the auspices of the academy. And they will also have access to the Judson University music camps, the mission programs, also the foreign exchange program, and they'll be included in some of the resources available for students, such as darkroom experiences in photography, also the recording studio. Those will be exciting experiences for our students.
Very. Wow.
I should also mention students would also have the opportunity to be exposed to the RISE program at Judson University. The RISE program is specifically for students living on campus who are intellectually challenged. So our students will have the opportunity of visiting those students and mingling with them and learning what it's like to be with other students who have intellectual challenges.
That is very, very cool. Very cool. Wow. There is so much there. I love the visiting professor. I know even as a student, there is nothing more exciting to get the perspective of others that are teaching in those particular fields. So I think that is very, very exciting. All right. Well, so maybe let's just talk about a few more things. All right. So I understand that the students will also, when they reach the right age, 16, I believe it could be, that they're going to have the opportunity to enroll in what's called a work-study program, just like you would if you were going to college. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, this program will help to offset the high school tuition that families will have to pay for their student. But it's an agreement between certain organizations with our students in which they will help to pay the tuition costs for the students in exchange for the student being trained in the field of that organization. For instance, we did a mini version of this several years ago, and we had a graphics artist who was writing a book. And he said, I would love to have some of your students who are good in English and in typing to type up and edit my book. And so he paid a babysitting fee in order for these students to be able to earn some extra money. And at that time, of course, the money went to the students. But for us starting this program, the money that comes in from these organizations will go to help the cost of the tuition for them. Not only would it make the academy more affordable for parents, but the students would also get firsthand experience and training during their high school years.
That is, first, that's very, very interesting because, again, these are all real opportunities for not only getting your feet wet in the working world, but also character building, which is so important as we prepare for life. All right. So with that, then let's talk about the affordability for the initial 9th and 10th grade students. We understand that CCT, the Covenant Christian, all right, TAA, Technology and Arts Academy, I've got it now, all right, invested a lot of money, a lot of finances, and hundreds of hours into creating this cutting edge educational curriculum for the families and for the young people of Aurora. So what might it cost for a child to attend a new and innovative private college preparatory? I mean, this is really what we're talking here. I looked up, you won't believe it, I looked up the highest college preparatory school in Chicago. I'm not going to tell you the name, but it is $68,000 a year. That is a college preparatory high school. And I noticed that the ranges are from 11,000 to 68,000 for high school. There's only a couple that are college preparatory. There is very few. And there is, I think, possibly just one that has even some kind of an semblance of this type of new and innovative educational program with technology and the college track. It's just so brilliant. And I know the parents that are listening into this interview are thinking the same thing. This is amazing. How do I get my child enrolled in this program? And really, because this is something that is going to transform your child's life. And I believe it's a limited amount of students that can start. So it's kind of first come, first serve. So make sure at the end of this, a program that you get in touch with Dr. Bissett and the school, so you can be part of the open house that's coming up. We'll be talking about that in a minute. And you can be one of the first to have your children or a child enrolled in the school. All right, back to the finances here. I was just blown away by all this. So tell me, what I know that the affordability is more affordable than all the other high schools. I know that, number one. But let me tell us in our audience today that those that enroll in this program, tell us some of the benefits that come along with it.
Right. For families that refer other families who enroll at the school, those families will not have to pay the registration fee for their students. So that's an automatic savings right at the very beginning. As you referred to as well, the tuition for the Technology and Arts School is even lower than quite a few of the other Christian schools in the area, which is beneficial as well. Right.
Yes.
And students who attend the academy, like we said just a little while ago, for their high school years, they can potentially receive an associate's degree by the time they finish the high school here, along with that Judson scholarship for their undergraduate program. But even more than that, there's a potential, even after Judson University, of future professorship or even employment at the university because of the connection that they will have had from the time they were connected with Covenant Christian School and the Technology and Arts Academy.
That is just incredible. How many college students out there, how many parents that went to college have ever thought, wow, if I could have had my AA at the end of high school, right? I mean, totally, because going through those very rote classes, your math, your science, your algebra, it's like, am I ever going to get that over so I can get out and get my BA degree? So it's totally, I get it. So, I mean, wow, right there, what a benefit. Oh, so where do you see now? And let me, before I even ask this question, I want to just let our viewers know something that's really important. We're not talking, it's a new, all right, we're talking about a new high school, but we're not talking about a new school. Covenant Christian has been around for 40 plus years. This is a very stable and it is a very formidable school. So because we're talking about something that has such a foundation, such roots, that when we add another program or another extension to part of the school, this is nothing short term. This is something that is going to continue to further the legacy of Covenant Christian. So when we talk about where do you see the vision of 3 to 5 years, we're talking about a vision that is being built upon another vision, something that is going to be very stable, and you are going to be able to enroll your child with confidence that this is something that they're going to be able to look back and say, I was there when it all started. I was there.
Right.
So tell us, where do you see that vision 3 to 5 years?
Well, over the next 3 years, we will be establishing grades 9 through 12. And then in the fourth year, we'll see graduates from Technology and Arts Academy attending their first year at Judson University. And then within 6 years, we will have the blessing, the privilege of seeing our Technology and Arts Academy students become our first college graduates, prepare to become world changers through their giftings that they received, the training that they received at the Technology and Arts Academy. And that will be a blessing, I think, not only for us as educators, but for parents as well.
That is, okay, that's a beautiful vision. I mean, really. And it's Leat. I am such a believer. And for parents, you understand that we don't build things overnight. We build things step by step. And anything in your life that is done in progression is something that you're going to carry with you for a long time. So this is a very progressive vision that is going to lend itself to an excellent future for your children. Well, I think we have covered almost everything that we can cover in this interview. And so I understand that there is an open house coming up. I know I briefly mentioned it a little bit earlier. Can you give us some details and let our viewers know how they can reach out to you?
Let me go back and make one more statement.
Oh, sure.
We believe that Covenant Christian School, Technology and Art Academy, along with their Covenant partner, Judson University, that together we will inspire and shape the world through Christian education, and even more importantly, through the Lordship of Jesus Christ, the author and finisher of our faith. So in answer to your question, on Saturday, August the 7th, from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock, we're going to be hosting our first outdoor Technology and Arts Day to showcase the school to the families of the community. Starting with music, we're going to have a band, Joe Pettit's band, who's known in the area. Also a young man named Ezekiel Navarro, who's a very gifted oboe player and organist. He'll be performing that day as well as some of our CCS band students. And then for art, we have Sean Hayes from the Chicago Chalk Champ, who will be displaying beautiful, you've heard of him, beautiful chalk drawings as part of the arts showcase. You are surprised.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yes.
Right
and
there, you've got to come to this open house just to see its work.
Good.
All right.
We're also going to have representatives from Judson University, Covenant Christian School, and the Technology and Arts Academy, who will provide displays with materials regarding their own schools. And all the young at heart can come and enjoy and go into greater heights the bounce house. So bring your kids too, because they'll have fun while you are enjoying the arts and the music, but hopefully they will enjoy it as well. And there'll be more details regarding this event in the new high school on our website, www.techartacademy.com.
Okay, www.techartacademy. So let's just do a little recap. This is going to be an amazing day. We're going to have a lot of music. We're going to have some fantastic art. We are going to have a lot of opportunity to look at materials on what's available. So people are going to get a real in-depth look on everything we've talked about. And bring the kids for the bounce house. I know the parents will be in the
Right.
bounce house too. So anyways, yeah, we all love the bounce house. Oh my goodness. Well, so this sounds like a very, very fun open house. And we do invite everyone to come out. If you have seen this video or looked at our posts, make sure that you carve out just 30 minutes, an hour, get over to this open house and become part of the future. So thank you so much, Dr. Nina Bissett. And I understand that that's a Hebrew version of, can you just tell me, our audience know, I'm here in Israel. So, and you are in Chicago. I was born and raised in Chicago, so we're okay.
Yes.
And so, so anyways, just tell us a little bit about your name for a minute, Nina.
Well, it was interesting several years ago at one of our teachers' meetings at Covenant Christian School. As a principal, I would allow or encourage teachers to come to the teachers' devotions and actually give a devotion. One of the teachers came, and her assignment from the Lord was to take each one of the teachers' names and give the meaning of them. And when she came to mine, she said, and Nina means little girl in Spanish. And later I took her aside and said, in Spanish, it is Nina, and that's the correct meaning of it. However, Nina is part of the Hebrew derivative for Anna or Anna, and it means full of mercy and grace. And to be principal of a school, you have to have much mercy and grace. So that's good. That's the background of my name.
Very, very good. Well, this has been just wonderful. It's just such an honor to speak with you today. Thank you again. And thank our viewers. And we hope you enjoyed this video. If it's up on YouTube or any of our social media, make sure you like it, share it with other family and friends. And we'll see you. I won't be there, but they won't let us out of the country. Right now with COVID, I can't be there. But anyways, come and meet Dr. Nina Bissett at the open house, along with, will Dr. Huntley be there as well? The music, will he be there as well?
He's trying to work it into his schedule he's hosting the Franklin Graham tour across the country right now. So, or not hosting it, but he's helping to put it together with the pastors. So, but we're hoping to get him at least for a few minutes. I told him he needed to bring a keyboard, and we would let him have the whole field in front of the building to make his performance.
Well, we hope he can be there. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. Well, I'll say shalom, shalom now. Shalom. And thank you again so much, and all the success. Hatzlacha to you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Was it Baruch haba b'Shem Adonai?
Wow. Hear that, folks. Baruch haba b'Shem Adonai. Blessed in the name of the Lord. Amen.